Calgary Flames trade rumors are escalating as Nazem Kadri, as well as a few other Flames, have been linked to multiple teams. With the Flames in the basement of the NHL, we could see a fire sale sooner than later if Craig Conroy fully commits to a rebuild. The Flames have some very valuable assets that could be worth a lot. We're going to get into all that more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. Before we get into all of this trade talk, we got to talk about last night's game where the Flames, I guess technically did better than normal. They actually picked up the Daryl Sutter point in this one. They do get a loser point in a 2-1 overtime loss to the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the Flames, this does move them out of last place in the league, but they're still 31st in the league. They moved ahead of San Jose, who still has yet to win a game, but the Flames are now on 3 points. And you know what? It sucked losing. I'm going to be honest, it really did suck losing because this was probably, other than the Flames win, the best game they've played this season. And a lot of people would argue they played, even better than that. Dustin Wolf was absolutely incredible. He gives up just 2 goals on 28 shots, the .929 save percentage, which is great, but even the stats don't do it justice. He was making highlight reel saves. It seemed like pretty much every period in this game, he made at least one of the top 10 saves of the season so far in the entire NHL. That's how good he was playing. And he already less than 10 games in is getting a little bit frustrated with the offense. And that's, fair enough. I don't have a screenshot of it, but essentially, the quote he said is, "I can't score." He's doing what he can to win, but he can't score, which isn't a direct shot at the rest of the team. He's just kind of saying, he's pulling his weight a little bit in a way. It's just that the rest of the team can't score. And that's the case. That really is the case here. The Flames, once again, only 1 goal. They're averaging about 1 goal per game so far this year, which is honestly terrible. The goal scorer in this game was Klapka off a nice play by Frost as well, which is fantastic. The other guy who I thought played really well, there were actually quite a few guys who played really well in this game, but Joel Farabee, honestly, has been really good so far this entire season. He just cannot finish. He's played really good so far this year. It just, the stats don't back it up because the Flames can't score. He can't score. There's just zero finish with this team. But overall, the Flames, they do take another L last night, albeit this time they do at least get a point out of it. For the people on Team Tank, they don't love that, but at least it's still a loss. And for the people who want the Flames to make the playoffs, well, hey, they're doing better than they have been in the past 6 games or so. They at least picked up a point in this one. But yes, another day, another L, as it might say at the ticker at the bottom of the screen at some point in this video. Now that we've spoken about last night's game, let's get into the trade rumors here. And so many people are talking about the Calgary Flames right now in kind of the hockey media right now. Now, the first tweet I have to show you here, it's actually a quote from David Pagnotta. So he was talking about the Flames. He said, Rasmus Andersson, he's going to get moved at some point, which I think we all know. But there are other pieces. Do we hear Kadri's name as the season progresses? Do we hear Blake Coleman? MacKenzie Weegar's name always seems to pop up, which is interesting because I kind of disagree. It doesn't seem like Weegar's name pops up all that much when it comes to trade talks. It kind of seems like with his contract, he's solidified. Kind of in the same way Huberdeau is, although Huberdeau, people want him to be traded more than Weegs. But, Weegar, I guess his name's coming up too, just since he's a veteran. But Andersson, we know. Kadri's name definitely as the season progresses could hear a lot more. And then Blake Coleman, his name been thrown around tons, especially by Flames fans. So one person actually replied to this, said, if Flames were a serious organization, they'd listen to Weegar trade offers. The return would be insane. And yes, he might be the most valuable player, or not the most valuable player on the team, who am I kidding, but the most valuable of these veterans, I guess I should say. I know we have guys like Wolf, Coronato, Perek, and so on that are more valuable, but the most valuable out of kind of probably these vets that could be traded away. It's just, is it in the best interest for the Flames to trade away Weegs? It might end up being. His value probably will never be higher, but is that really what you want to do? Trade away your guys who want to be here, ready to build for the future, all of that? Not too sure. But overall, it is, I guess, an interesting take to say the least. So that's from Pagnotta. Another one is from Friedman. So he said, can you imagine the haul that Calgary's going to be asking for if Nazem Kadri's out there? I like that they didn't cut out the 3 ifs. They kept the stutter, I suppose, but with all 3 ifs, there we go. Even I kind of low-key stuttered there. But either way, what Friedman is saying here is, can you imagine the haul that Calgary's going to be asking for if Nazem Kadri's on the trade block? And he's not the only one saying this either. Pierre LeBrun pretty much said the exact same thing. I didn't grab a screenshot of it because, again, pretty much what Pagnotta, Friedman, LeBrun, the rest of, honestly, all the NHL insiders and the hockey media are talking about, they're all kind of saying the same thing, is that the Flames could be looking to trade away a lot of these vets, and they could be asking for a lot and should get a lot, especially for Kadri. Some people disagree because of the age in contract, but, you know, he's worth a lot. Well, let's just say that. We know that as Flames fans. A lot of people who aren't Flames fans but still watch hockey don't watch the Flames play all that much. Kadri, over the past few years before this season, has been really, really good. So his value obviously should be quite high. Now, this article actually came out today, and it says multiple teams are reportedly checking in on Nazem Kadri. It comes from Charlie McAfee here, but I gotta be honest, the title says multiple teams, but he only links Kadri to the Leafs in the article. So as you can see at the very top there, it says Toronto Maple Leafs, and we've heard it a million times. Kadri over the summer said he'd be, willing to move back to Toronto and would maybe go to Montreal as well. Those are kind of the two key teams here, but either way, we'll get into a couple more later in this video. But let's see what this says. So could the Maple Leafs be a sleeper team in the Kadri conversation? Already, I'm saying sleeper. Are you kidding me? But let's hop in. Another veteran who could be on the move is Kadri, whose name has been bounced around in trade rumors over the past few months, and it looks like those talks may have resurfaced. According to NHL insider Elliot Friedman, if Kadri is on the move somewhere, then the package offered to acquire him is going to be teetering on astronomical. The quote once again, can you imagine the haul that Calgary is going to be asking for if Nazem Kadri's out there? This one also actually kept that little triple if in there. Next one. While there's no denying his skill in production, there is some concern about acquiring a 35-year-old with several years left on his deal. There's no guarantees he can continue this as he gets older, and giving up so much is a huge risk. His old team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, could certainly make a play and offer a package that could include names like Nick Robertson. I'm down. David Kampf, nope. Calle Jarnkrok, nope. Max Domi, nope. Or even Bobby McMahon, not really. I'm not interested in any of those names other than Robertson, to be honest. They have always been linked to him when the rumors pop up, and Kadri's made it clear he would entertain a move back, but have competition from rivals like Montreal for his services. So there you go. It's always going to be Toronto, Montreal at the top of these lists. I wouldn't call them sleepers at all because they're the teams that are obviously linked to him the most when it does come down to it. But we've talked about it before in the summer. If you're new around here on the channel, essentially a trade with the Leafs just doesn't make all that much sense. A trade with Montreal could make sense, but Montreal is not going to want to trade away some of their young guys since they already are building such a good young team. They kind of want to keep those guys around. It makes sense. So overall, I see Kadri going to kind of a different contender if he does get traded. It always seems like the name Dallas pops up. Carolina could be this year. I hate to say it, but Vegas is always in there for one of these trades. Do I think that'll happen? No, but obviously it could. But either way, he's being linked to a few teams here. I wanted to get some thoughts from some of the people, that aren't insiders or just writing an article. So I checked the comments. You always got to go to Twitter comments. So one person says, Kadri will tell them to trade him to Toronto as it's the only team he will waive for. Don't know about that. Then you'll get a couple second-round picks, Nick Robertson, Kampf, and Jarnkrok to clear up the cap indeed. So similar to what that said in the article. If that's all one package, that's a huge package. I could be entertained by it. Not exactly what the Flames are looking for, but, I mean, there's worse trade proposals out there. Another person, I don't know if this is a bot or something, but they say, this is delusional. He's 35 and struggling. He's not worth that much. And I don't know, this isn't in reply to the comment above. This is in reply to what Friedman said. And Kadri should be worth a lot, as we'll see some other people say here. So one person says, Montreal will only give Struble and a second-round draft pick. Again, I don't think that Montreal's going to give up what the Flames want, including that. I mean, I'd entertain it, but it's not exactly ideal. Another person said, a first, Nadeau and Kotkaniemi for Kadri and Poirier. I mean, throw Poirier in there for whatever reason. But a first, Nadeau and Kotkaniemi, I'm down. I'll just say that there. Am I that interested in Kotkaniemi? No. But a first in Nadeau, I could be swayed. Another person says, Kadri has won a cup, leads the Flames in every offensive stat since he got here, and is a leader. What contender wouldn't want him if Calgary retained $1 to $2 million? 100% agree. That's the key comment for me. Another person says, nobody on the Flames is fetching a haul unless their record improves. Conroy's leverage would be compromised because other GMs know he wouldn't have the option of standing pat on certain guys. And there's some truth to that. It's not necessarily the case, but it's an interesting point to take into account anyway. Just a few more here. One person says he's going to pick his destination, probably Montreal and Toronto. It won't be much. I don't know. Again, I think it will be more than the average hockey fan thinks. Do I think it'll be an absolute ransom? No, of course not. Another person says, have the other GMs not watched Kadri play the last 2 years? So true. He's worth it. Trust me. Another person says, not as much as Trocheck if the Rangers decide to blow it up. I think that goes without saying. Another person says, you're not getting a haul against that kind of contract. Too long, too rich. So again, if you retain, it could happen. Another person says, I just know he's going to end up in Dallas or Vegas and ruin my dreams. Yes, it seems like, especially Vegas, they always get all of those top guys that every other team wants, but hopefully that doesn't happen with Kadri, at least in terms of the Golden Knights. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. It comes from yesterday's video, of course. And this was honestly a really nice comment here from Gordon. So Gordon said, this is absolutely the perfect storm that should start a proper rebuild for the Flames. With 1/10 of the season gone and past, the Flames would need a points percentage of .650 to even make the playoffs. I have a feeling that Connie knew either we were going to make the playoffs or time to trade some of our veterans. I have a feeling that we will get a top 3 pick for 2026. We hope so. Perhaps a few more first round picks with Kadri and Andersson inside looking out. I don't think we would get a first for Coleman. We'd be lucky to, I guess, for Kadri as well. It depends on the package, obviously. Love your channel. Thank you so much for that comment and for the support. And honestly, love every bit of that. It's true. It does seem like the perfect time to tank and kind of do a bit of a fire sale, as we've spoken about for, the past week or so now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.